We're in the process of turning our old 30-year-old double-wide mobile home into a luxury mobile home on a budget. We're gonna take something basic like this door here and turn it into these gorgeous DIY cabinet doors. Let's do the daggone thing. I know y'all just saw us hang these suckers, but we are taking them down. We didn't paint the backs because I only hung them up there like this so that you guys could see this project both ways. But we have more intended for these cabinet doors. They're going to be absolutely gorgeous. And in order to do that, in order to transform them, we need to take these suckers down. Okay, so you might be wondering, Rita, how are y'all going to turn this whole thing into what I just showed you? Well, we have shown you the front of it because I wanted to show you guys two versions of this DIY, one for DIY beginners and the other one for those of us who have a little bit more experience. Not experienced by any means, don't get it twisted, but those of us who have messed around and found out a little bit, right? So this would be just a normal upgrade to the cabinet. And the way that we're going to take this a step further for us is we're going to cut out the inside of the square here, and we're going to use regular old plexiglass that you can find at the hardware store like Lowe's. They can actually cut it for you too, because I don't know if y'all remember the circa 2022 plexiglass fiasco. Let's take a trip back in time to the trailer park. Oh, I gotta actually hold it. Yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on, BFFs. Hold on. Wait, we good?
Don't drop your camera.
Okay. Oh man, that would be so bad. Okay, be very careful with the saw. It'll vibrate on it.
I don't think you gotta worry about vibrating your camera.
Are you sure?
Will you hold this? I don't know.
Shane, should we got safety glasses? Is it not working?
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
No! It's working, but...
What is he running off the head? He's so dramatic, I swear. He's so dramatic. Work smarter, not harder. We got this cut for us, so we don't have to cut it ourselves. And we got it cut in order to fit in this and just have a little bit of a layover so that we can insert this from behind and it'll be our glass substitute. We could do this with glass, but it would be more expensive. And we're all about making this a luxury mobile home on a budget. So you could go get glass and you could get the glass cut to fit the exact measurements you needed. But for us to keep it within our budget, we had to go the plexiglass route, which we've played with plexiglass before. We know how it works. We made a gorgeous farm door back in 2021-ish. We made a gorgeous farmhouse door with plexiglass, so we know what we're working with. We've just never modified an already built cabinet door in order to make something like this happen. So this is a new experience for us, but we're dealing with old friends. We're gonna put that in the center of the cabinet, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, normal, real Merina here after the Pep Talk Merina. Pep Talk Merina's real too, but just letting y'all know, we ain't going into this not scared. You just gotta do it scared.
In the words of Kevin McAllister, this is it.
This is it.
Don't
There's
get scared
one
now.
cabinet door per cabinet. We don't have room for mess ups.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of pressure.
Don't get it mistaken. We are very scared.
I can't do this! I can't!
As Eminem once said, you only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow this opportunity, Gums. Once in a lifetime, you better lose yourself in the music the moment you want it. Little 11-year-old Merina could quote that song, by the way.
Okay, so I'm out here getting ready to cut the holes in the cabinet doors. And do you guys remember my shoe that I showed you in the last video? Well, it's still like that, where it looks like it's trying to have a conversation with me on the back. Well, I went to go kick a piece of wood out of the way, and my other shoe decided it was gonna also be like that, but this time from the front. So I was gonna show you guys. If you guys ever have an issue like that, electrical tape is where it's at. That'll keep me up to par until I can get me a new pair of boots.
Shane doesn't know it, but he's not going to have electrical taped shoes for long because I have a whole Valentine's Day gift planned out for him, and that's a part of his gift. So he doesn't know that yet, but your girl is not going to let her husband walk around with floppy work boots. Absolutely not. He has worked those things to death for his family, for me, for our projects, for the YouTube channel. He is not about to go around with talking boots. Right now, he is cutting out the inside of the cabinet doors, and he's using two different saws, one for the corners and one for the sides, and it was not as hard as we anticipated it to be.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. I'll follow your lead.
Are you making fun of my Mufasa shirt?
Not at all. I love your Mufasa shirt. Every time I see it, I hear, "He lives in you," and then that preaches a message. He lives in me. He watches over. Look what I did, guys. I already showed him this. I was singing, "Look at this photograph." I think I already told you that too.
So I've got a lot of work I need to do on these. I gotta sand the edges here and then paint them, and they will be done. They are perfect, mind you. He did the sawing perfect. So I'm going to go through and paint all of these, sand them down real good, and then paint them. Because the outside, obviously, like this area doesn't need to be sanded, but this area definitely does. So I'm gonna go through and sand all that area.
I don't think it'll be too hard either, because that wood that they use in there is like that compressed wood.
And then we're going to go through and we are going to paint them. Because of the specific saws we had to use, it left the inside of the perimeter of these doors here really ragged. Like, it's very, very rusty. It's rustic, honey. Like, it's rough. So we're going through and sanding the entire perimeter of the inside of the door just so that it'll look nice and clean and it won't have any jagged edges or anything like that to give us splinters or nothing. I want to be able to rub my hand across it and not get a splinter. Now, somebody out there smarter than me might say, Marina, you could have just built these and it would have been easier than having to go in and saw the inside of the doors. Yeah, but we don't do things the easy way over here. Most often than not, we do them the hard way. And then we learn that we would like to do them the easier way next time. But that's not why we did it this time. I actually thought about that because I know Shane can make something like this. It would take him no time to make this frame and then to put plexiglass behind it and build that out. It would take no time. We did more effort sawing out the inside of a cabinet door than it would to actually just have him build this frame as a cabinet door. That's not why we did it. We did it because we wanted the cabinets insides that you see hung up on the wall. I wanted those because I have them in the rest of my kitchen. I like the way that they hold stuff. They're sturdy. They're built good. A lot of people complain about the build of the cabinets that you can buy at hardware stores, but I love these that I have. So I wanted this because I want to store dishes in them, and that way you can see through the glass and see the pretty dishes like in the background, like in these cabinets. So I wanted these, and we had to do this because I wanted those cabinets back there. And then I also wanted to give you guys an idea so that if you're like looking at kitchen cabinets you already have and new cabinets aren't in the budget for you, that you could just look at the kitchen cabinets you have and say, oh, I could probably saw the inside of these cabinet doors out and do exactly what Marina's doing. I wanted to inspire you a little bit. Does anybody know what's happened to my paint? I'm going to ask Shane when he gets back in here, but look at this. What is this? Okay, so this is a brand new can of paint. I've only used it to paint a little bit. You see that big old, it looks like cottage cheese. Why is it cottage cheese? It looks like I'm straight up about to slap cottage cheese on my cabinets. Why does it look like that? It's all settling on the bottom. Look at that. What in the world? I don't know what we're going to do here. I don't even know what's going on. I need to look this up. Hey Siri! Hey Siri, where are you?
Over here.
Siri, why does my paint look like cottage cheese?
If the paint has been exposed to freezing temperatures for too long or frozen and thawed too many times, it may reach the consistency of cottage cheese. This lumpy, runny mess may also be worked out, but it may cause problems during application or with the color saturation and longevity of the finished painting. This answer is from Live About
No. So what you're telling me, Siri, is this is awesomely created fault for leaving this in the car the other day. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go start a fight. Be right back. I'm just kidding. Judging from the chain of events that I thought back on once we got this paint in the house and I saw that it was cottage cheesy, judging from the chain of events, it definitely froze in the car and then thawed out and then probably froze again. So that's why it looks like this. I did not know that happened. If you don't know that happened, you're not alone because I didn't know that happens either, but it definitely does. So we tried to save it by mixing it up, but it was turning just like into concrete chunks. So what we ended up doing was removing the big chunks and then being left with whatever was left because we were not about to throw away a $50, I don't even know how much this stuff is, but it's more expensive than cheaper brands. Like, it definitely ain't the price of Color Place used to be, you know what I'm saying? So I don't care if this looked like the beginning stages of a sourdough loaf. I don't care if this looks like cottage cheese large curd. I did not care. We were going to save this any way we could. So we just literally removed and trashed the problem and then just kept going. Okay, this is all that we have left. So we're going to use this on the outside where it's important and it makes a difference. And then we're going to use just regular Glidden white that we have in storage over here in Shane's little DIY closet. We're going to use that for the inside, the back of the cabinets. Those are going to be hard to paint anyway because they're that finish that the paint wants to bubble on. I have a bunch of experience painting on this because if y'all remember when I painted the pantry shelves, I bought regular bookshelves from Walmart and put them in my pantry, and I had to paint those, and they're the same finish as this. So I know paint likes to bubble, but I know you can get around it by doing several coats. So we're going to be doing several coats of the Glidden white paint on the back and on these shelves, and then we're going to put the Sherwin-Williams pure white paint on the outside where it matters. I was getting a little bit confident here. I thought your girl was having a high-functioning brain moment, but I wasn't. Don't ever lay out cheap at that. Cheap wrapping paper and think you're doing yourself a favor and, oh, I'm so cool. Like, I just thought of this. This is so smart. No, it will stick to whatever you're painting, and then you will have plaid on that. It'll be a printed frame. In my case, it was a printed frame because you don't do that. So Shane had to actually come in and save the day and use some plastic we had left over from winterizing the animals outside. We had some plastic left over, and he laid down the plastic on top of the plaid cheap Christmas paper and saved the day. But I still had to sand a lot of plaid off of these frames after I had painted them already. But I really thought I was about to show up on here and give y'all another life hack because y'all know I love my life hacks that I think I come up with. I really thought I would have got upset if it hadn't been coming a blizzard outside. I asked Jesus for 12 inches of snow, not ice, and we had got ice with the last winter storm, and now we are getting snow, and we're sitting with like almost 7 inches right now, and it is still pouring snow outside. So he's getting there. He's giving me what I can handle though, because I also asked for a bunch of acreage whenever I was talking to him about my dream home, and he ended up giving me 2.5 because he's like, Marina, this is what you can take care of. He knows better than I. His ways are higher than my ways. His thoughts are higher than my thoughts. I go with what he says. So if he thinks I can handle 7 inches but not 12 inches, then I'm just grateful for the 7 inches. But I was ready to go play out in the snow, so nothing was bringing me down. Not even plaid covered picture frames was bringing me down. As I was working on the cabinet door frames, which here I'm picking them up to make sure they don't stick to the Christmas paper, plot twist, they stuck anyway. So, you know. But Shane is doing 3 coats on the inside of the cabinets back there, which you're not really supposed to paint the inside of the cabinets because they have that slick manufactured finish. And one of you guys a long time ago, whenever I was doing the inside of the pantry and I was painting the bookshelves I bought for in there, I bought them already like built. So like they were that manufactured slick kind of feeling. You guys told me to use a specific kind of paint. And I have so many thousands screenshots, pictures from you guys that I had to scroll through to get your ideas and your advice on certain things. I need to put them all in a folder, but I scrolled and couldn't find it, so I couldn't remember what y'all said to use, but whatever you told me to use, I should have used it because it took 3 thick coats in order for it to look right and it to stop bubbling up. I got my 3rd coat on the doors done. Shane is working on his 3rd coat on the inside of the cabinets. That's going to be a lot brighter than the outside because of the 2 different whites, where one of our whites was cottage cheesy. Shane's using the white Glidden. My kids are playing with their friends on Fortnite. You can probably hear them screaming. We're using the white Glidden in the back just to conserve on the more expensive one, the pure white by Sherwin-Williams. And we're going to use that on the outside. But you won't really be able to tell because these doors are going to be hung up, and we're going to have the plexiglass as sort of a barrier, so we're not going to be able to see the inside of those cabinets too well, but we'll be able to see them enough to where we definitely want them white. He's on his 3rd coat. I finished my 3rd coat, and then I need to get to painting the backsplash there, and then we also need to get started on the doors because it's getting dark outside, and I want him to be able to see whenever he saws. I have under cabinet lighting with the rest of my kitchen, so I wanted to have it over here too because I want the kitchen to flow. That's the whole point of doing this project, is I want it to flow and look as if it's one big room, because it is. And so I add these cabinets and I wanted them to have under cabinet lighting. So how Shane does that is he adds some trim underneath the cabinets here, and then he uses really short brad nails, and then he uses glue. It's like a glue that you can use on wood, acrylic stuff. We'll use it here in a little bit for the plexiglass. And then he adds the attachment for the under cabinet lighting. And then what he does is he goes and he takes a piece of plywood that he's cut an opening for the light, and then he's cut it to be the exact measurements he needs the perimeter to be in order to fit up under here. He adds that underneath here, and then he attaches it to the trim he's placed. So the trim sort of works like anchors, and it just gives us something to attach it to. He then threads the wire. He makes a hole through each of the cabinet bottoms here and threads the wire. That way the wires will be inside of the plywood area he's about to make. So he's going to cut out a piece of plywood in order to make it fit underneath here, and he's going to cut out an opening for the light to show through. So it's going to look completely recessed.
I've seen gladness, I've seen sorrow. I'll tell you a story of a new tomorrow. No more hurting, no more hating. All darkness is slowly dissipating, and you see that trees are so green that they drown out the dollars. Sky is so blue that it makes the world brand new. I don't know how I missed all of these colors. I only know that they showed me what was true. Yeah, they brought me back to you. I was running, I was hiding, till I found the answer to the great divide. And be caring and be loving, and take time to just give instead of taking. Then you find that trees are so green that they drown out the dollars. Sky is so blue that it makes the world brand new. I don't know how I missed all of these colors. I only know that they showed me what was true. Drown out the dollars. Makes the world brand new. I don't know how I only know that they showed me what was true. Yeah, they brought me back to you. Trees are so green that they drown out the dollars. Sky is so blue that it makes the world brand new. I don't know how I missed all of these colors. I only know that they showed me what was true. Trees are so green that they drown out the dollars. Sky is so blue that it makes the world brand new. I don't know how I missed all of these colors. I only know that they showed
Shane used a glue that's supposed to work really good on acrylic. He just found it at Lowe's, and it comes in sort of like a caulk container, and that's what he used to attach the plexiglass to the back of the cabinet frame. And then in some areas where they sawed it a little bit wider because they were trying to give us the most for what we paid for, because you pay for a big old sheet of plexiglass and then they saw it for you, and they try to give you as much of that so you don't have any excess. Too much excess as waste. So some of the pieces came out a little further than some of them did, just so we could use everything that we paid for, basically. So on the ones that came out wider than the other ones, Shane just drilled through the plexiglass where the handle holes are, and he used a specific bit he had that was meant for things like plexiglass. And so that way it had not only the glue holding it up, but it had the screws from the door handle as well. He's doing another coat on the entire perimeter of the built-in while I'm painting these. This took 3 coats on these as well. These are the trim pieces we're using for the panel look that we're doing. So I want them to have a cross basically in the frame, and it looked like a window frame, an old school window frame, and kind of like my glass door that I bought to go in between my laundry room and my kitchen. So I'm painting these white. It takes about 3 coats, and it is tedious to get all of it covered, and it was taking forever to dry, but it's okay because it gave the glue that we used on the plexiglass to keep it on the frame. It was giving it time to cure, and it had like 24 hours to cure before we hung these doors back up, so it worked perfectly. I'll insert a picture here of both the type of adhesives that we used. One of them is for tubs, but it worked on acrylic, and that's what Shane was reading on the label, is it worked on acrylic. And so the plexiglass has that sort of acrylic feeling, so we took a chance on it and it ended up working great. So we have tub glue on our cabinets, but it works.
There's an obvious end to this game we're playing. I say nothing, you say nothing, and nobody wins. I've been through this a million times, hoping that my heart would give me a sign. Feels like we're both keeping secrets tonight. Do you want me to stay, or do you want me to go? There is someone for me, and that someone should know. Always wanted to be completed by another person, an understanding that requires no translation. Here I am once again at your place, trying to figure out the meaning of the smile on your face. Feels like there's something we both want to say. Do you want me to stay, or do you want me to go? There is someone for me, and that someone should know. That someone is you. That someone is you. That someone is you. That someone is you. There's an obvious end to this game we're playing. I say nothing, you say nothing, and nobody wins. Do you want me to stay, or do you want me to go? There is someone for me, and that someone should know. That someone is you. That someone is
Shane caulked and painted underneath the cabinets, but we still have to place a piece of trim where the cabinets meet, where we put them beside one another, or there'll just be a gap up there, and we don't want that. So here in a minute, we go in and we do that. And then we are placing the little pieces of trim with that clear glue I showed you guys earlier, and it works out perfectly.
You were tall, I looked up. From where I sat, wished I would've dressed up. Your first line, won't forget. So is it true, no one's taking you yet? I remember people staring as we stepped outside. They had only one goal, get me off of your mind. I was no good, they said, you could do much better.
I was going to say I can't believe that Shane turned this area into something like this, but I can believe it because the man's dedicated and it shows. He made this area everything I wanted and even more. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I hope y'all have a blessed morning, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you are at. Know that I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. I will see y'all in the next one.